Okay. The other thing I wanted to mention, and especially for Nick and Suzanne, who are now you're ascending into a higher level position at the high school. This past week, we had a very productive meeting with Dr. Schmiegel from a medical perspective. And as a board, we're very concerned with the drug usage at the high school. Okay, this is, again, we can say that this is pervasive across the state, it's pervasive across the country, but that doesn't mean that we ignore it and that we don't do anything about it. This board and our administrative team and with our SROs, we are putting and implementing things that are, rules that and policies that need to be followed. So we went ahead and we installed vape sensors. So we have to make sure that if a kid gets caught vaping, that there is a direct, consequence to that. There's also a provision that if you get caught with drugs, you have to do like a drug course. So every kid needs to do a drug course, and we don't need to hear some kids say, oh, guess what? I got away with it. Because that's how kids are. They just talk amongst themselves. Whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter. You don't want that narrative out there. There is also, we're working on youth court. Some of the suggestions that we came up with is that if you get caught vaping, then you may be mandated to do something with like Pivot and provide or write a paper or do some education, some peer-to-peer education. So we need to learn how to address the drug issue in a positive way where you actually get an educational perspective from it, as opposed to it being punitive. Because I think all of us that are parents, punishing your kids doesn't always work. You really want to teach them to rephrase their thinking. You really want them to know what the consequences are and spend a lot of time doing that. And we have to start at the high school. Our high school is not good right now. To believe that it's not a problem is really not appropriate, because we see it in the office. I have parents coming in all the time saying, what can I do with my kid? So I just want, one of the things that is frustrating to our board is that a lot of the media really likes to quote negative things, and they'll be happy to quote something that, is going wrong, but they don't talk about what we are actually doing to address this issue. Our superintendent is committed to making sure that we address this. We are trying to enforce and be consistent and have policies so that we can really try to minimize, because we're not going to eradicate it. That's not to think that the kids are going to stop. It's not. But hopefully if we put some of these tight measures in, it'll be somewhat of a deterrent. So I think it's very important that, we say that we are taking action, and this is a positive for us. We're not slipping things under the carpet. We're not acting like it's not happening. We're addressing it. We're doing head on. We had a very positive meeting and Dr. Schmiegel has been incredible in listening, open ears, trying to figure out how we can undertake this problem. And I really hope, Sandy, that I know you don't decide. I know you're just an employee, but it's really important that I think the media start to highlight the great things that this board is doing. We have open communication. We have great leadership. The people that are working with us now are so much more involved and really are dedicating and investing a lot of time in making our school district better. And I just want the media to stop trying to highlight all the bad things. We're doing a lot of good things. You heard the superintendent's report. Thinking of an alternative program for these kids who need extra help, getting a behavioral specialist. We're listening to our teachers. We're listening to our community. We're going to have community town halls in the coming months after the new year. Get the community involved. Talk to parents. How can we help you help your kids? We've engaged in, memorandums of agreement with Pivot and other agencies. And that is the information that needs to come out. That is what we need. People in the community need to know how hard we're working, and the positive needs to come out. So I wanted to make a special point in pointing that out. And the last thing I'd like to say is that Terry. I had a great time. I was invited to read to the kindergarten, not the kindergartners. I had a fourth grade class and they were amazing. They were all